the fire that shapes us, a journey into obsession and improvement. The forest does not grow by shouting, it grows by reaching, slowly, constantly, unapologetically. There is something sacred in knowing that you are not yet what you want to be. In the stillness of recognizing your own rough edges, something extraordinary stirs, a warmth, a gentle ember that hums with the quiet promise of growth. Not the kind of growth people celebrate with confetti and claps, but the kind that only you know about, the kind that happens when no one is watching. A subtle unfolding, a journey into the depths of your own becoming. That ember is obsession. Not the frenzied, unhealthy kind that burns you out, but the quiet, faithful kind that keeps showing up. The kind that whispers, do it again, do it better, stay with it. So much of greatness is misunderstood. We think the best people were always destined, that their excellence arrived fully formed, wrapped in ribbon and talent. But the truth? The best people knew at first that they really weren't that great at all. They just refused to stay that way. They became amazing because they were obsessed with improvement, not with impressing others, but with answering a deeper call inside, a longing to get closer to the truth of who they could be. Let's sit with that truth today. Let's breathe it in. Let's begin. There's a gentle beauty in starting out rough, in writing your first sentence and knowing it's not quite right, in drawing your first sketch and realizing it doesn't match the vision in your mind, in speaking your truth and fumbling over the words. These moments are not failures, they are footsteps, small, wobbly steps on a long and sacred path. And the path, it isn't glamorous, it doesn't come with spotlights or loud applause. It's quiet, often lonely, but deeply, deeply alive. This is where obsession begins, not with arrogance, but with humility. You look at what you've made and say, I can do better, not because it's bad, but because you see something more, something deeper, something not yet real, but waiting to be born. So you return, you revise, you retry, not because someone told you to, but because something inside won't let you quit. That is sacred. That is the fire. Think of nature. A tree does not rush to grow tall. It listens to the soil, the sun, the seasons. It adjusts, it bends, it roots. Obsession, the kind that transforms, feels like this. It's patient, but never passive. It's the quiet hunger that keeps reaching even when no one notices. It's the inner rhythm that plays when the world is silent. You become someone who does the thing not because you're good at it, but because you can't imagine not doing it. Each time you repeat it, something subtle shifts. The muscle strengthens, the intuition sharpens, the lines get cleaner, the meaning gets deeper. The work, whatever it is, writing, dancing, coding, speaking, parenting, healing, starts to reflect not just effort, but essence. And when you begin to see your essence in your work, obsession is no longer a chore. It becomes a kind of prayer, a reverent daily devotion to the possibility of your own becoming. Most people look at the mountaintop, they see the finish line, the highlight reel, the viral moment, but they forget the climb. They don't see the mornings when you doubt everything, the nights when you want to quit, the hundreds of quiet repetitions no one will ever witness. But you see it, you live it, the mud, the missteps, the messiness. It's all part of the mountain. And strangely, as the obsession deepens, you begin to love that part. You start to find peace in the process. You stop asking, am I good yet? And start asking, am I real yet? And that question changes everything, because when you care more about being real than being perfect, obsession transforms from pressure to purpose. It becomes the soil from which integrity grows. Repetition is not glamorous. It is often overlooked, but it is the heartbeat of mastery. Doing something over and over doesn't make you dull. It makes you precise. It tunes your awareness. It refines your perception. And over time, you begin to move with a kind of grace, a quiet confidence, a knowing. Not because you have arrived, but because you have stayed. The best people do not arrive. They remain curious, they remain faithful, they remain devoted to the work, even when the work is hard. And in that remaining, they become. Here's the beautiful, brutal truth. Obsession will not always feel good. Sometimes it will feel like standing in the dark, unsure of what's next. Sometimes it will feel like failure after failure. But these are not signs to stop. They are signs to soften, to breathe, to listen. The dip is not the end. It is the invitation to go deeper. All growth passes through shadow. All light is born through contrast. When the path feels quiet and unclear, keep walking. There is a clearing ahead. And in that clearing, something will be waiting, not because you forced it, but because you were faithful enough to arrive. What does it mean to be obsessed in a world that rewards speed and surface? It means choosing depth, choosing to dig where others skim. It means showing up for the thing that no one else sees yet. But you do. Even if just barely, it means letting your identity be shaped by process rather than praise. You stop asking, who do they think I am? And start asking, who am I becoming when I'm alone with my work? That's where the real magic lives. In the hours that don't get posted, in the drafts that don't get published, in the practice that doesn't get paid. Because those hours are yours. They are sacred. They are proof. And then, one day, you notice something. You've changed. Not dramatically, but definitely. The words flow more freely. The brush feels lighter. The sound is sharper. The insight is deeper. You're no longer trying to be the person who does the thing. You are the person who does the thing. You didn't arrive with a gift. You built one. And even if the world hasn't noticed yet, you have. You see who you're becoming. And that changes everything.